Flying an airplane is one of the most exhilarating and challenging jobs that one can have. Being responsible for the lives of hundreds of passengers requires a great deal of training and experience. Every pilot's ultimate goal is to become a captain, which is the highest rank a pilot can achieve. In this video, we will discuss how to become an airline captain, the requirements needed to achieve this, how long it takes to upgrade to captain, and how many hours are needed. Welcome back to Aviator Inspirations. My name is Yaro, and I help take the mystery out of the aviation industry. I make these free videos for future aviators to save time and money, so consider subscribing. So let's start off. What is a captain and what are their responsibilities? A captain is the highest rank a pilot can achieve, and they sit on the left side of the airplane. In addition to being a highly trained and experienced pilot, a captain is responsible for the safety of the passengers and crew on board. A captain, or what we in the industry call pilot in command, is the leader of the flight crew, so it's their responsibility to oversee the flight from start to finish. In the event of an emergency, the captain is responsible for making critical decisions that may affect the safety of the aircraft and its passengers. The captain must also be able to communicate effectively with the whole crew and passengers during an emergency, ensuring that everyone remains calm and follows safety procedures. Ultimately, if anything goes wrong, the blame rests with the captain, and that's why it's not an easy job or taken lightly. This leads us to the second question: what's the difference between a captain and a first officer? In the flight deck, there are two qualified pilots, the captain in the left seat and the first officer in the right seat. The captain is the pilot in command and is responsible for the safety of the flight. The first officer is the co-pilot and assists the captain in flying the aircraft and making decisions. This is the biggest misconception out there, that the first officer is not a fully qualified pilot, and that is simply not true. You wouldn't believe how many times I have heard, "So when are you going to be a real pilot?" If something happens to the captain, the first officer is trained in everything that the captain is and will be able to land the airplane safely. The main difference is the captain has the responsibility and authority to make the final decision when it comes to safety of the flight. This establishes a clear chain of command, which is essential in the aviation industry. The going joke among first officers with 3 bars is, "Not my problem." Captains are also mentors to their first officers because they usually have more hours and experience and can pass on that knowledge to their first officers to help them become good captains in the future. Did you know that in flight a captain can act as a peace officer and place somebody under arrest? If there's no air marshal or RCMP on board, they have that power. So while there is only one captain in the flight deck, the captain and the first officer work as a team to ensure the safe operation of the flight. This team dynamic is critical in ensuring that all tasks are completed efficiently, effectively, and according to standard operating procedures, which helps to reduce the risk of human error. This brings us to the third question: how long does it take to upgrade to captain and how many hours do you need? The time it takes to upgrade to captain varies depending on the airline and the pilot's experience level. Most airlines require a minimum of 1,500 flight hours to be eligible for a captain upgrade and your ATPL license. However, many pilots have significantly more flight hours before they are eligible for an airline captain upgrade. Generally, it takes a pilot anywhere from 5 to 10 years to upgrade to captain at an airline. This timeline does not include the time it took building experience to get to that airline, and once at the airline it depends on many factors, including the number of available captain positions, the airline's growth rate, and the pilot's experience level. However, throughout a pilot's career they can be captain many times. If you watched my pilot pay video, you would know that a pilot's career is a real-world game of snakes and ladders. My first captain position was on a King Air 100 at 25 years old when I had around 2,500 hours. This allowed me to build multi-engine pilot and command hours and work on my decision-making skills. My second captain position was on a Dash 8 Q400 at 30 years old, after spending a year and a half as a first officer. When I moved on to the 737, I became a first officer again. Now, at age 37, I became a captain for the third time in my career on the Boeing 737. If in the future I switch companies, I will again go back to being a first officer and then have to wait 5 to 10 years for my seniority to accrue to become captain for the fourth time. This is why switching airlines frequently is not a great idea, because a pilot seniority number dictates when they will upgrade to captain. So if you keep starting at the bottom of each new airline, you might never upgrade to captain in the first place. So if all you need is seniority to upgrade, do flight hours even matter? Yes, they do, and as I mentioned, most airlines require a minimum of 1,500 flight hours to be eligible for a captain upgrade. However, this number varies depending on the airline and the pilot's experience level. When I became captain on the Q400, I had around 3,500 hours, but I needed 500 hours on the Q400 as a first officer before the company would let me upgrade. Each airline has a matrix you have to meet, so it all depends how quickly you build those hours, and once you do, then you have to wait for your seniority to come up. When you get to the 737 or bigger airplanes, it's common for pilots to have over 5,000 hours of flight time before they are considered for a captain position. I had 6,500 hours when I became a captain on the 737, but I needed 1,000 hours on the 737 before I could get that captain position. My goal now is to build 737 pilot and command hours so that in the future I can become a captain on a larger aircraft if I so choose. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's have a backup plan. So in conclusion, becoming an airline captain is a significant achievement in a pilot's career. Their journey to become a captain requires dedication, hard work, and a commitment to safety. It takes years of experience and thousands of flight hours to qualify for an airline captain upgrade, which I will explain in a separate video. While there's only one captain in the flight deck, the captain and first officer work together to ensure that all tasks are completed safely. Smash the like button if this video clarified what the journey looks like to becoming an airline captain. If you have any other questions, leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.